Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. You are chopping it up with Chuck. I'm the editor-in-chief with Cannabis and Tech Today, and we are very excited to have as our guest Aaron Ray, the CEO of Sesh Technologies Manufacturing. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing wonderful, Chuck. How are you today?
Well, I'm in a glass box of emotion, my friend. I feel like this quarantine's been going on for a little bit, and I feel like everybody is ready to hopefully get back to a new normal soon, and see everybody and go to the events and do all the stuff that we're used to doing.
I hear you. I definitely feel your sentiments. And if you look outside right now here in Denver, it is snowing.
Yeah,
it is snowing, and that's cool.
Yeah. It just kind of adds to the ambiance of a pandemic when you're trapped at home in a snowstorm.
It is. You're just kind of it's kind of like watching the seasons. It was 70 degrees about 3 days ago, and now it's 30.
Oh man, it's so crazy. So it's been a while since we've had you on the podcast, and do you remember the last time that we had you on Cannabis Tech Talks?
Absolutely. It was MJ BizCon Next, New Orleans, in June of last year.
That's right. So a little under a year ago, and here we go.
There you go. Yeah, I believe that was right at the time we were launching our Revolution grinder.
That's right. And for the listeners who don't know, Sesh Technologies Manufacturing, what do you guys do?
Sesh Technologies Manufacturing, we design, engineer, and manufacture processing equipment for the cannabis industry.
I think that's a great topic for us today because the manufacturing side of the cannabis industry is more important than ever. But like every facet of the cannabis industry is dealing with the coronavirus that is happening right now. So I'm excited to kind of talk to you a little bit about what's been going on with you, find out what you've been seeing. I know you're a part of some really big networks and groups, so we can even touch a little bit on investment, events, and kind of what you see on the other side of this as we're coming out of the stay-at-home order that has been going on for, well, we're about a month now, aren't we, in Colorado?
Well, it sure seems longer than that, but yeah, I believe we're at about a month.
Wow. And how did you get into the cannabis industry?
I got into the space. I have family in Spokane, Washington, and they introduced me to a local manufacturer and a really smart our engineer and founder, Jason DeWicki, guy that we're playing around with and engineering some really cool equipment for the cannabis space that was different from the standpoint it wasn't repurposed equipment from another industry. It was equipment that was designed, engineered, manufacturing for cannabis. And they asked me to just help out with a business plan. And here we are today. It started off as help me with a business plan and help us get to market. And 3 years later, we're a company. We're all grown up. I believe our first product that was launched was at MJ BizCon 2017, which was the Rocketbox, which is our flagship product, which does 453 pre-rolls in under 3 minutes. And since then, we've been continually releasing products that fall in line with that, such as our Revolution grinder, and then most recently a mini version of a Rocketbox for the lower middle market.
So you guys have really come a long ways too, because I remember when things were, just starting off, and I know Jason, we go way back as well. Shout out to Spoka Vegas. But you guys have really come a long ways from, that first business plan to where you guys are at right now. And you're not resting on your laurels. You're continuing to put out new products. You're continuing to listen to what the people need in the industry, and that's pretty cool. How is the Rocketbox Mini being received right now?
It has been received very, very well from the standpoint of it serves a market that just didn't need the large commercial production of our original product, the Rocketbox. So it's especially, as these difficult economic times we're in, it's nice to have an option to purchase some equipment that isn't as expensive. I mean, but let's be honest, everyone's watching their bottom line and paying attention to cash flow and wanting to make very strategic purchases, ones that they can see a pretty quick ROI on. And the mini Rocketbox has been very well received from that aspect.
And you guys, all your products are made in the USA, right? They're all made in Spokane?
They are 100% made in Spokane, USA.
Nice. That is that's cool. And how has your business been affected? We had Extract Labs on here about a week ago. He said that their orders are still coming in. They're having some supply issues, but how have things been for you guys as far as keeping up with demand, orders? What's going on?
We've definitely seen. You have to adjust. I think we haven't seen a huge increase or decrease in demand, but we've seen things across the spectrum, from people looking to really build up their facilities so that once things kind of normalize, we get to our new normal, they're ready to go with pre-roll production. To people that are wanting to hold off a little bit to kind of see how things roll out over the next few weeks and few months, and then people calling in and really wanting to build up their consumables to make sure that they're ready to go once things open back up. And then some people are just cranky. It really depends. It's I wish there was a more concise answer, but it's really what you're seeing is the industry across the board is impacted in so many different ways.
Yeah, we're seeing that it's the whole spectrum, on all sides of the gamut, where some businesses are jamming, others are, they're kind of doing okay. And then others are, laying people off and, closing the doors. So everything across the board, we're kind of seeing in this, in the cannabis industry during this coronavirus thing. But it's good to hear that you guys still have orders coming. You guys, have you had to lay anybody off?
We've done some realignment, but the good news is that our manufacturing facility, and again, I all the credit goes to that team in Spokane with getting in front of incorporating a clean environment and clean safety protocols within our manufacturing facility. Anything from UVC lighting to ozone generators. You can see our team. If you go to our website and then on our social media, Instagram, you can see our folks in the back working in Tyvek hazmat suits and operating with smart home controls and apps, and then obviously increased sterilization for products going out. So we've really again, I'm here in Denver, so I'm giving my team in Spokane props for what they've done to work through this.
That's really cool. I know Jason is one who, he's kind of like a mad scientist. He's always behind the scenes, creating and inventing. And that's really cool that he's kind of taken these extra steps to make sure that your workers are safe and that you guys are still able to, keep up with production.
Absolutely. Yeah. What Chuck, what'd you tell me last week? If you were stuck on an island and you had three people, who would you want? Jason would be one of them, right?
Right. Like if you are stuck on an island, like Gilligan's Island, you've got to have everybody has to bring something to the table, so you got to have the professor. Otherwise you're totally hosed. You know what I mean? It's just Gilligan and the skipper and, the movie star. And, you're not going to have a transistor radio out of a coconut. You need to have, you got to have the professor on your team, and you guys do. That's really cool. Jason's he's a super smart cat, and you guys. So the Rocketbox was what came out, was kind of your flagship, and then you guys came out with the grinder, the Revolution, which they kind of go hand in hand, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. You have to grind before you can fill, and that was along our mission statement, and what we try to do is solve problems in the industry, provide solutions, not tell you what you need or tell you what problems you shouldn't be solving. It's you tell us and how can we assist throughout that whole spectrum of manufacturing and producing cannabis. So, you got to start with one, and then you build from there. The Rocketbox was very well received, and we're continuing to add on products, which was the revolution, which grinds and not only applies in the pre-roll sector, but as well as extraction and any of the others where concentrates or edibles, topicals, anything that's not just straight flower, that product is applicable to.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about kind of some of the trends that you're seeing, some things that you're hearing, some feedback that you're getting from people out there that are, using the products and letting you know what they need, because I think it's always interesting to hear for the other people in the industry. But first, we're going to take a quick break and give a shout out to one of our sponsors. So we'll be right back after this short pause, speaking with Aaron Ray, the CEO of Sesh Technologies Manufacturing. We'll be back right after this. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. We wanted to take this time to tell you about CannaTech Today, CannaTech Tomorrow. In the spirit of service, we're proud to announce this comprehensive plan basically to give back to the industry that means so much to us. We're going to be offering absolutely free job boards, directory listings, webinars, email marketing, even consulting to help businesses and individuals make it through this pandemic. It's more important than ever we stand together as an industry and as a community. For more information, please visit www.cannatechtoday.com/CannaTech Tomorrow. Hey, everybody, we're back. Welcome to Cannabis Tech Talks. You're chopping it up with Chuck, and we are here with Aaron Ray, the CEO of Sesh Technologies Manufacturing. They are a super smart company out of Spokane, Washington. Shout out Spokane, Washington, where I graduated high school. And these guys are, like I said, they're right in the thick of things when it comes to manufacturing, and their products have been very well received. In a short amount of time that they've been there. Everything is made in and put together in Spokane, so it's made in America. And we were just talking about how their business has been affected, and also, what the people are asking for. What are your clients, looking for in terms of innovative manufacturing equipment? And you guys have been providing that. Do you have something else that you guys are thinking of? Does Jason always have like a little, an idea book or a list of things that he's always kind of tinkering with and working on?
Oh, absolutely. He's, and that's where he's at his best is working on and finding new ways to help streamline and automate manufacturing and processing in the cannabis space. And, to your point, and I had alluded to this earlier, is, I've seen companies that can engineer and create some really cool stuff, but it's not done with what is needed in mind. And I can't stress that enough. We've gone down that road as well. And at the end of the day, for us, we are much better suited, and we serve our clients in a much better, from a much better place if we listen to them and actually engineer and produce products that they are needing, and that helps them become more efficient. And I think with as the business continues to grow, you're going to see more competition, and you're going to see more automation, and we want to be right there on the forefront.
What do you think is the ratio as far as what makes a great company? You've got obviously the products that you put out, and then on the other side, you've got corporate culture, customer service. What do you think that ratio is as far as a great company putting out great products?
I think it's the 3 Ps, and I don't know if I'd give any one of them more credence than the other, but it's people, products, and process. And I think that is, that's kind of a recipe for success when it comes to, what we do. And I think that's applicable to, to most companies that are excelling in the cannabis space.
Is manufacturing a hot sector in the cannabis space?
Absolutely. I think it's, in the beginning, when you look at our industry, I'll take it from the view as an investor.
Right.
It was all about cultivation, brands, trying someone, there's still no Coke in the cannabis space. So It was a big, there's a heavy competition to create that cultivation, producer, processor brand. And that's really where the money went. And then now you're starting to see, the picks and the shovels of the industry, the STM Cannas, and the groups that are the ones manufacturing equipment to process. I think you're starting to see that sector widen, and investors start to look at different automation and engineering and innovation that's occurring.
It seems like such a smart play. It's not as sexy as the big brands, the big mega brands, like you said, the Coca-Cola of cannabis. But it's necessary. It's essential. It's super important for bottom lines. It's super important for quality and the picks and the shovels. They say that Seattle, Washington, when the gold rush was happening in Alaska, they made their mark as the place for people to stop and get their equipment they needed to go up to Alaska and hunt for gold. So they literally built their whole city. They put ads in newspapers back east saying, hey, if you're going to get some gold and get rich, make sure you stop in Seattle and get all your gear. And it seems like a smart play, because even if it's a little, if it's not as sexy, as the big mega brands and everything like that, you got to have it. You got to have the equipment that you need for the businesses to thrive.
You're absolutely right. It's no matter how you put it, manufacturing is not sexy.
It's not.
Just ask any marketing executive or branding executive. You give them a manufacturing company, and there's not a lot of ways you can go. There's only so many angles you can take pictures of equipment, right? So,
right.
But to the other side of that, you're absolutely right. It is 100%. It's a necessity. It's a need. So we're not going anywhere. You're always going to need the people in the background making things work.
I'm assuming you guys are still operating up in Washington State, so you guys have been deemed essential, right?
Absolutely. As I mentioned and discussed earlier, our manufacturing facility has been functioning on all cylinders because of the protocols and really getting in front of this from the beginning. But our from the get-go, our sales team has been working remote since day one. Our senior vice president of sales, Jessica Ferranti, lives in New Jersey. So and she's built her team with sales folks from Arizona to Colorado to Washington. And so we were prepared from that standpoint for a situation like this. We've also strategic in our trainings and our demos for our clients. In the past, we had always traveled and gone out to when someone purchases a Rocketbox, we send a face-to-face, guy, gal out to walk through the process and to train them on the equipment and get them set up and ready to start producing pre-rolls. And obviously this has created the inability for us to travel. So we've converted to a virtual training facility. And Eric Blackerby and our team in Spokane have built out a really cool, I'll call it a studio, the STM studio, to where we're doing all of our onboarding, demonstrations, training videos, all from Spokane. And it's gone really, really well. And so it's stuff like this that kind of stops and makes you think, could we maybe do some things, in normal business times that are more efficient and that are actually serve our clients better?
Yeah, there's going to be a new normal, coming out of this for sure. How do your salespeople sell during a pandemic?
They have to sell with compassion. And that's hard. I was talking to one of my sales guys in Arizona the other day, and he said he was kind of given the riot act from prospect that said, how dare you call me and try and sell me something during this time? And, then you have others that are so, receptive to the help and the service that we provide. And you can't fault either one of them. This is, I read something the other day that if you don't know how to act, or you don't know how to react right now, or you don't know how to feel, that's okay. It's not like we have a lot of experience going through this. So, I think our sales team has really taken the consultative approach to really be compassionate with their communication and really be supportive of our clients.
Yeah, I think that tone is very important right now. I think that for anybody who's listening, who's in sales, it's important that you are approaching your prospects, very soft, hat in hand, is there anything we can do to help? How are you? And I think that the salespeople have to be ready for the fact that they're going to run into some people that, like you said, might give them the riot act, and might make them feel bad for reaching out. But you're also going to have on the other end, I think we've noticed that some people just like having someone to talk to. They like talking about maybe planning for things that are going to be on the other end of this pandemic. And so, we have good days and we have bad days, right? I mean, there's some days that I wake up and I'm all fired up and ready to go. And then there's other days where it seems like it's really tough to get motivated. So as a salesperson who's out there, talking to people all the time, they probably are going to get the whole gamut of reactions from people. And like you said, it's okay. It's a pandemic. We didn't really train for this. We're kind of making it up as we go.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So what about events? You were talking about how you guys can now do presentations without going face to face. You guys are doing things, virtual, online. Do you think that there will be more events that are online that companies might be interested in? Because let's be honest, events are great. We love events. Here at Cannabis and Tech Today, we probably go to 20 events a year, which is a pretty heavy travel schedule. But if business can get done and you don't have to pay to send your people, airfare and hotels and meals and stuff like that, do you think that virtual events are going to be more of a thing after this?
I do. I really do. And I, give, kudos and credit to you, Chuck, and Cannabis and Tech Today and all the other, trade shows, media outlets that have really pivoted quickly to accommodate the industry in a time of crisis. And it's been, you've seen, for instance, you have trade shows such as the NTA show or CannaCon coming up, and they've quickly pivoted to where as a vendor now, they're promoting my products and my company virtually and through their networks versus just at a trade show. This podcast, I think this is, I know we talked about doing our first one a year ago, but they've really picked up. And I think people are starting to realize that, hey, you know what, maybe we can get the same type of exposure without, to your point, having to spend an arm and a leg on, sending your equipment and your people and so on and so forth. But that being said, I don't see the trade show going away. I still want my MJ BizCon in Vegas every year. And I think, a lot of it's still there's something to be said about being face to face and building that relationship. So I think you're definitely going to see a change, but I don't think it's going to be, it's going to completely make trade shows and people to people type business obsolete.
Instead of, I want my MTV, I want my MJ Biz.
Exactly.
I want to go back to Vegas and I want to hang out with all those rascals and, deal with the crowds and everything else. You're right. It's the law of familiarity. And there was, let's be honest, a lot of business does get done at those trade shows.
Absolutely. It does. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, listen, Aaron, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on here. My tip of the cap to you and everybody at Sesh Technologies. It's really exciting to see a company like that come from my hometown. Graduated from high school in Spokane, and to see that happening right there is really cool. So you guys continue what you're doing. I hope that we'll get a chance to meet up at one of these events soon. I'll see you either out in Vegas or, New York or one of these other events soon. But in the meantime, stay safe. We really do appreciate you coming on here. Shout out to your family and everybody else. And just appreciate you being on this episode of Cannabis Tech Talks.
Well, Chuck, thank you very much. And kudos again to you and your team and what Cannabis and Tech Today does. It's much appreciated, and it's definitely well needed in this industry.
Awesome. Well, hey, go out and build a snowman if you want, because the snow is coming down here in Denver. And to everybody that's listening, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. If you liked it, go ahead and share with your friends. Hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to follow us on social media so you can stay in the conversation. CannaTech Today on all of your social media platforms. Everybody, this has been a great episode. We'll talk to you again soon, and see you on the next episode of Cannabis Tech Talks.